Hello, my name is Rod Bates and I'm the owner of Koinonia Guide Service. On behalf of our staff and our sponsors, we'd like to thank you for fishing with us. It is our mission at Koinonia Guide Service to provide you a safe, educational, productive, and memorable experience while exposing you to God's wonderful creation. We see God's great power in the fact that He's created the Susquehanna River, and we see His goodness to us in the fact that He gives us the time, the ability, and the opportunity to enjoy this wonderful creation. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And thank you for choosing Koinonia Guide Service. Okay, I want to show you how we use this sudden impact. I've done it before, but this is going to be all part of the catching, filleting, cooking, and eating video we want to do. So I'm using bait casters because they lay in my Scotty rod holders real nice. This is a medium heavy action rod, and I'm using an egg sinker. You see it there? That comes down to the Team Catfish sinker bumper with a swivel, and then approximately a 2-foot leader with a number 4 or a number 6 treble hook. Team Catfish recommends a number 6. I like to use a number 4. However, I'm experimenting with the number 6s. 12:27. I just put a rod out. Oh, it's getting bit already. Fish on. That's, I don't know, a minute maybe. This sudden impact we put it out, and if you don't have a fish or a bite in 5 minutes, bring your hook back in, freshen it up. If you don't have another bite in the next 5 minutes, then move. If you're not on fish in 10 minutes with this bait, you need to move. And there it is. That's a treble hook, Team Catfish sudden impact. And you know, this is a Bass Pro Shops Extreme rod and reel, 17-pound XPS fluorocarbon. Fluorocarbon holds up well because of these fish like to roll, and they will score your line and rough it up. So fluorocarbon works real well, plus there's very little stretch. Okay, in Pennsylvania we're allowed to fish 3 rods. 12:29 I just threw the second, or this rod I caught a fish on, threw it out. I'm going to try to get 2 more in the water here. Okay, we put the hook in here, and then you take this paddle, and it's hard to do with one hand. You just go around in a circle around that hook, and you get a glob on there, and then that's all you need. That's your sudden impact. Okay, 12:32. We got 3 rods out. We got a wind, so I'm going to put a second anchor out. Actually, I've already done that. So you try to keep this boat from swinging a lot with the wind. It will swing, and when you do, that drags your line and you get snagged a lot. So we try to put a second anchor out. Some other tools of the trade that are nice to have handy is the scissors, the pliers, the jaw spreader, and you can't do without your Team Catfish grippers. These things are phenomenal. Oh, there's a bite. That was the last rod I put out, so. This time I set the hook before I got the camera, since I missed 2 there. What time is it? $12:37. Gotta love the tug on these guys. Got a good looking channel cat coming in. Okay, that's 2 pretty quick ones on the sudden impact. Quit flopping there, buddy. Stretch him out, he's about 19 inches. Thank you, Art. It's 2 in a short period of time. Okay, I caught 2 and lost 2 in that particular location, so I pulled up the rear anchor, rebaited, and what we're going to do now is we're just going to drift back maybe 10 yards. So we've got our anchor is in a solid position, so we can just leave out extra line now. 3. You know, so there's, maybe 15 feet. So we'll leave that out. We'll drift back, and we'll set up on them again. and we'll be able to keep fishing this particular area without lifting the anchor and disturbing anything. So let's see if it helps us put some more fish in the boat. Once again, we'll put out anchor in the rear, try to keep us from doing much swinging. Let's put the rods out. 12:45, let's see what happens. Check this out, folks. 1 minute, fish on. One thing you gotta be careful of is when you have these side anchors out, you gotta make sure you don't let that fish get in that anchor on you. And with filming and reeling at the same time, with the rod between your legs, it's not an easy task. He's not a big one, and he's not gonna be able to keep him out of that anchor. Thank you, Lord. This is fun. Okay, we caught one after that drift and missed two. So we're going to go ahead and do another drift, and let's see what happens. Bring him in, freshen up the bait, do a drift. But again, I don't know if you can see it or not, but these giant bows in the line, that's moving the line around, moving the bait. It makes it hard for this. But we're doing okay. Okay, let's let out some more anchor rope. And I might want more in that. There's a rock down here I'd like to get behind, so we'll see where this gets us. I think I'm gonna need to let more out. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. And we'll put the side anchor out, put the baits in the water, and see what happens. 104, we're gonna get the third line out here. 106, like a charm. We're hooked up. I gotta keep him out of the other rods with one hand and keep him out of the anchor. It's a little one, so I should be able to do so. Thank you, Lord. That's how we do it with sudden impact. A good eating sized channel cat going back. Okay, so that's a quick lesson on how we use the sudden impact to put channel cats in the boat. If you get to a spot, 5 minutes, you catch a fish, they stop on you, just leave some anchor rope out, drift back, try to catch some more in that active area. This is the way we do it, but there's other ways that you can do it and have a lot of success using the Team Catfish Sudden Impact.
We're going to show you how to clean a couple channel catfish today. We're Quinity a guide service, and we're encouraging people to use a resource that's on the river. So what we do here, we got a couple channel catfish. One of the keys I found here is I want the fish on ice right away. Makes a big difference. You get them cooled down immediately. So you get fish on the river, have an ice chest long, have a bag of ice, get them cooled down. Okay, and it also makes them a lot easier to fillet up because the meat gets a little stiffer. So I'm going to show you how to fillet these fish. Electric filleting knife, big deal, works great.
Let me go to the other side.
So you want to run on an angle, just about like this, down near the vent, up on an angle towards the rib. Let's see, gotta get my electric filleting knife back where it ought to be. We use an electric filleting knife. It doesn't really matter what brand you get, they all seem to work pretty good. Sometimes I just buy one used for meat.
We like the pointy one though, right? Versus the rounded edge?
The pointy one works good if you're gonna do like bluegills. I did a bunch of bluegills last night, takes about 15 seconds per bluegill, and the little sharp pointy one works real well. So all we're gonna do is go on an angle, you can see from the vent up towards the fin, go down to the backbone, okay? I turn it, come alongside the backbone, and I flop it out. Now right there's the backbone. So at this point, I got a piece of meat laying here. There's nothing really up here to get. Right here, on this angle, from here back is where all your meat is. You take your filleting knife, your electric knife, put it against the skin. Flop it out through. You got a nice fillet right there. I have a can of water. Now you're gonna have a little blood on it. We're gonna soak it and clean all that blood off.
No rib cage bone?
No.
No bones, okay.
Right. I flop him over, do the same thing on this side. Flop fillet over. Put your knife down against the skin. Carcass goes in the bucket. Fillet with no skin on it.
You're not forcing anything there. You're just letting the knife
you just
work
go
on its
nice
own.
and easy. Let the knife do all the work. You don't have to rush on these. The Susquehanna River is full of channel catfish. We've got a great fish commission here in this state, and they're telling us to use the resource. There's lots of channel cats in the Susquehanna. Now, I went a little too far for that. I cut it clean of the meat, and I shouldn't have, because it now makes it a little harder to fillet. If you do that, what I do is I keep a fork here just to hold the skin, so I can hold the skin down. Once again, gives you a nice fillet.
Is there a particular size you like better for eating?
If I had to pick one, I'd pick an 18-incher, 17 to 18 inches. But you know, I'd pick a 17 to 18 incher if I was eating walleyes. It just seems like it's a better eating fish. Now there's an advisory in Pennsylvania on fish over 20 inches. So if you're not supposed to eat more than one fish over 20 inches per month. If you check on the advisory, this is based on eating a quarter pound of fish every day for the rest of your life and being pregnant, okay? There's no problem to eat these fish. Call the Fish Commission if you have any concerns and fears over it, because they're telling us there is no issue for you to eat these fish. And the advisory is only for fish over 20 inches. There, I just stopped short of taking the skin. The skin is stuck to the fish yet, which makes it very easy to take the skin off. All these fish were just caught about an hour ago, and they've been on ice since we caught them. I got this particular filleting knife. It's a Berkeley, and I've used a lot of different types. I got this up at Bass Pro Shop. And it's worked real good for me.
It's cleaned a lot of fish.
It has cleaned a lot of fish. I want to show you again, one of the reasons we start here right from the vent up on an angle, this is actually, I'll bend the fish up. This is all ribs right here, okay? So the ribs extend right here to the back. There's very little meat up top. It's mostly all bone. They're actually a bony fish from the ribs forward, and down here is all stomach. So we actually start here. Yes, are we losing a little bit of meat? But very little. It's mostly bone and ribs up top. So once again, you can see as I bend it over, you can actually see the ribs right there. Right here's the ribs. So you want to make the cut just below the ribs. Knife is not as fast as it used to be because it's cleaned a lot of fish. What you get is an all boneless fillet.
With my family, that's very important.
With everybody's family, it's important. Use the resource, they're delicious, and enjoy catfishing. Thanks for watching.
Okay, previously we showed you how we fillet our catfish. So here we got some catfish fillets. Basically we fillet them, we put them in salt water overnight in the fridge. These are fairly fresh. And then Charlie's going to show us how we prepare them for deep frying. And we'll show you how we cook them up and eat them. Okay, Charlie, it's all yours, buddy.
All right. There was an old recipe for wild duck that started out, it said, first thing, shoot a duck. Okay, and with fish it's kind of the same thing. The first thing is you got to catch some fish. So now that's what we're going to take care of the fish, and we're going to deep fry them. And the first thing I'm going to do is, after these fish have soaked overnight, then I'm going to get as much water out of them as I can. These being the catfish fillets. And this is what a fillet should feel like. It should be nice and firm. It shouldn't be mushy. Great catfish fillets.
So Dave did a good job of filleting that.
Dave did an excellent job of filleting them.
I see you got a little beverage back there in case you get thirsty.
Yeah, actually, that's an integral part of this.
Oh, okay.
I
was mistaken.
The cook needs to have a little beverage there, just in case. And
I have made trays out of
the old Cajun chef Justin Wilson used to talk about that. Have a little wine for the sauce and a little wine for the cook.
There you go.
You know your child got put outside. I've already had one of those.
Are we back on?
Yep.
Okay, now, as what I'm doing is getting the excess moisture out of the fish here. There is nothing worse than to have a breaded fish and your first bite you get water in with it. So, and also the egg won't. We're going to dip these fish in eggs, and then we're going to dip them in the batter or the breading. And if we don't have them fairly dry, nothing's going to stick to them.
Okay. Okay, so you had some fresh walleye as well there, it looks like.
Yeah, one of the guests tonight has indicated that he's not particularly wild about catfish.
Okay.
So we're going to have some walleyes.
And this is all Susquehanna River fish, right?
This is all Susquehanna River fish. You can't get much fresher than this. They were flopping around.
Okay, so Charlie put about 4 eggs in there and is just whipping them up now.
Now I'm going to put the breading, and what I'm using here is a commercial breading. It's Louisiana style, not Cajun, Louisiana. There is a difference. Cajun is a little bit hotter, and I myself would tend to prefer that, but not everybody likes stuff as hot as I do. Now we're going to lay the fillets out, and I'm going to lightly salt and pepper them. Okay, now I'm going to lightly salt and pepper the fillets.
So you're using the same recipe on the walleye as you do the catfish?
That, yes, same breading, same everything. And that's one of the benefits of using the, not getting too awfully hot like with the Cajun breading. A very, well actually catfish and walleye both are fairly delicate tasting, so you don't want to, you want to taste the fish, you don't.
Oh, so you do both sides then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
They look like some fairly meaty fillets.
Mm-hmm. All right, little salt on the other side. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of some trash here.
Okay. Okay, we're...
All right, the breading procedure here is going to be a little bit messy. I've tried to do it with tongs, but the only real way to do it is with your fingers. So I'm going to coat the fillets in egg, and then we go to the breading. Now, if we were down south, they would be doing this with cornbread, or cornmeal rather.
Oh, okay.
And now, one of the things I do when we go down to the gazebo to fry these, and actually when the weather permits and I have to do any deep frying of anything, I do it in the gazebo. That way the house doesn't smell like what you
Oh, yeah.
have fried for the next week or so. So
Is there a reason why you use egg?
yeah, it holds the breading to the fish, and that's also the reason the egg. You know, I dry the fish first, bottom dry. You want a fish that is not cooked dry, but it's moist, but it's not. There's not water inside it. It's not like a French fried mushroom where you bite into it and the first thing is you got a water running it. It's not all that pleasant a sensation. So yeah, the egg
Help seal it up or something?
helps seal it up. Yeah, and I've tried this a lot of different ways. I used to make my own breading out of Italian breadcrumbs and egg, and one thing I found that the flavor was good. The problem was that the Italian breadcrumbs, as hot as you have to fry these, they would get very dark, almost burned if you to get it by the time they were cooked. So. This way with this flour breading, it does a much better job than, well, it does the best job of any anything I've tried, and I've tried a lot of them. I thought it was the way to go. Yeah, one thing I gotta hand it to Jimmy. He is.
Okay.
All right. Now we're in the gazebo, and the reason we're down here is that so that the house doesn't smell like fried fish for the next week. And also it's kind of easy after we're finished. I'll just slide everything under the hood here, and it's out of the way and out of sight. Now, when I do this and do that, and it really snaps and cracks,
It's right temperature.
that's the right temperature.
Yeah.
So that's what I say. The glass of wine is an essential part of this. You have to use it to check the temperature of your oil.
How do you determine how much oil to put in the pot?
I want enough in there so that when I put 2 or 3 fillets in there, depending on the size, that they're completely covered. We're deep frying, not just frying. In fact, I may put a little more in there.
So the gas heat will get that hot in a hurry. That's a good thing.
Yeah, and that wine that I just kind of flicked in there, that'll snap and crack pretty quickly.
In Chinese mafia.
Well,
None of them
I'm
make
sorry.
any money.
Whatever it is, don't change it.
Right. Yeah.
So you just flip those over there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
go by look or minutes or gut feel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little Kentucky windage.
Looking pretty good.
The oil that we have in here, of course, it's brand new oil today, but that oil will stand up to probably another 5 or 6 fish fries. When it starts to get really dark, then you discard it, because at that point the breading gets dark before the fish is done. But
So you'll just funnel it back into a container somewhere?
I will just put it back in the bottle, and we'll write in very prominent letters. We'll write fish oil on it. That way-
Fish oil only.
Yeah, that way Nance won't use a tablespoon of it to make brownies.
Couple minutes there. Looks like one's done.
And that don't get no prettier
They're
than
looking
that.
good, man. Looking real good. Actually, they look good over there even before you cook them. The other good thing about doing it outside is you don't burn the house down.
That's true.
We got fresh catfish from the Susquehanna River. It doesn't get any better. It's that good. Make good use of the resource. The river's full of channel catfish, and just take them home and eat them. They're delicious.